In yet another sign the Cold War may have thawed for good, the U.S. reportedly will halt production of its last nuclear warhead. And Democratic presidential candidate Bill Clinton is hoping to cool down sexual allegations against him as he heads for what could be a fateful weekend appearance. Welcome to this Saturday edition of Early Prime. I'm David French in Washington.
And I'm Jonathan Mann at the CNN Center in Atlanta. Thanks for joining us. Senior U.S. officials tell the Washington Post that the Bush administration will cancel production of the only nuclear warheads still on order. The W-88 warhead was designed to be carried by submarine-fired Trident missiles. The reported cancellations comes amid what officials say is reduced worry that the U.S. will be a nuclear target. It is also in line with other steps being taken to cut the Pentagon budget. Each Trident II can carry up to 8 of the warheads. Each has 30 times the firepower of the atomic bomb that leveled Hiroshima, Japan in 1945. Initial plans called for 3,000 warheads, but officials say the number actually produced stands at about 400, enough for 2 submarines. Canceling the remaining warheads is expected to save more than $1 billion, the money likely to be used for cleanup at nuclear bomb building sites.
President Bush is working on his much-awaited State of the Union speech this weekend. He stayed in Washington primarily to draft Tuesday night's address, which is being viewed with particular importance in light of the current political campaign and the stagnant economy. Campaign advisors and White House officials are hinting Mr. Bush may formally propose another cut in capital gains taxes and tax credits for home buyers. But politics is never very far from the president's mind. The Bush campaign unveiled its first political commercial aimed at those suffering under the economy. The spot shows Mr. Bush with factory workers in New Hampshire, site of the nation's first primary next month.
I have never seen it so bad where people have to lose their homes, people don't have jobs, they don't have...
You can give it to me straight because we've known each other a long time. A lot of you are hurting. I've seen the pain in people's eyes, from those who own struggling businesses to those who work in them. This state has gone through hell, gone through an extraordinarily difficult time. I am determined to turn this state around.
Paid for by the Bush Quail 92 Primary Committee.
The ad entitled Determined is expected to begin airing this weekend around the New Hampshire area. Mr. Bush is expected officially to declare his re-election bid less than a week before the February 18th primary.
Democratic candidates are trying to woo black voters with pledges of more jobs, better schools, and affordable health care. With Jesse Jackson and Douglas Wilder both out of the race, presidential hopefuls turned out to lobby for support from Jackson's Rainbow Coalition. Candidates Bob Kerrey, Paul Tsongas, Eugene McCarthy, Jerry Brown, Tom Harkin, and Bill Clinton all polled for coalition support. Opinion polls suggest Clinton's the early frontrunner in these weeks before the New Hampshire primary, but he's not only battling other contenders, he's fighting for his reputation. CNN national political correspondent Gene Randall is in Washington.
Arkansas Governor Bill Clinton came to Washington Saturday morning from Little Rock, where the execution of a convicted cop killer had put his presidential campaign schedule on a one-day hold. Clinton refused to grant clemency, and Ricky Ray Rector was put to death by lethal injection Friday night at a prison unit in Grady, Arkansas. Clinton and the other major Democratic presidential candidates were in Washington to address Jesse Jackson's Rainbow Coalition meeting, to court black voters disappointed by Jackson's decision not to run this year and by Virginia Governor Douglas Wilder's withdrawal. But building up black support is only one item on Bill Clinton's weekend agenda. The number one concern is the political need to meet the challenge of tabloid charges. Allegations that Clinton carried on a long-running sexual relationship with a woman named Jennifer Flowers, a former Little Rock TV reporter, part-time cabaret singer, and now an Arkansas state employee. Also alleged is that Clinton asked the woman to deny the alleged affair. Though Clinton has denounced the charges as lies, questions about them are dogging him.
Are the allegations true? You did or do not have affairs?
I have already spoken to those things.
Bill Clinton and his top advisors have taken great pains to select a TV forum for the candidate and his wife Hillary to refute the tabloid charges, finally settling on a special edition of 60 Minutes on CBS after Sunday night's Super Bowl.
And they said they wanted to discuss far more than that.
No mention of Clinton's tabloid problems at the Rainbow Coalition Saturday, though he did bring up another sensitive political issue, capital punishment, acknowledging many in the audience opposed it.
3 times I have had to search my soul. 3 times I have prayed in private not in public, for the souls of the condemned, as well as for those whom they killed.
The warmest reception greeted Clinton's attack on George Bush's assertion that he would do anything to win re-election.
You want somebody who can beat that? Vote for me. I've lived with it all my life. If they run this race baiting on me, I will jam it to them and bring this country back together. Thank you very much.
Later in the day, Clinton went to a Washington meeting of fundraisers from around the country. He was expected back in New Hampshire Saturday night and to tape his 60 Minutes appearance in Boston Sunday morning. Still ahead for Bill Clinton this weekend, what could be the defining moment of his presidential campaign. His Sunday TV appearance is high-stakes politics, and he gives the impression he is ready for it. Gene Randall, CNN, Washington.
And still to come on this edition of Early Prime, it's another day of non-stop scientific experiments for the industrious crew of the Shuttle Discovery.
CNN's Early Prime, news and information for people in the prime of life.
Tired of the usual cough drops with menthol and eucalyptus that provide only minor relief for your cough? At last, you have a choice. From Scott Tussin, the pharmaceutical company diabetics have known and trusted for years, comes new Scott Tussin DM Cough Chasers. The only sugar-free, sodium-free, and dye-free cough lozenge with dextromethorphan, the most effective cough suppressant available without a prescription. Chase your coughs away with Cough Chasers.
How does your Genie screwdrive door opener work?
You push a button, it goes up. You push a button, it goes down. Oh, we moved to the house, there's a Genie here. It works, it opens the door. Oh, I hear the garage door going up, but the Genie itself, I've never heard the Genie make a noise. I do know, though, that there's maintenance on it because I replaced a battery about 15 years ago on the little box. I remind her, Genie, I work. I'm maintenance-free.
Genie screwdrive, built for a lifetime.
No, you're not maintenance-free.
Campbell's heard your healthy request.
Low fat,
Less salt.
but lots of taste.
Here's our answer. New Campbell's Healthy Request ready-to-serve soups. All the great taste you want without some things you don't. New Campbell's Healthy Request. And healthy.
The Murine Earwax Removal System has drops that safely loosen hardened wax when used as directed, plus an ear washer to gently flush wax away. Murine, the complete medically approved system to safely remove earwax.
Gentlemen, in preparing our...
Are you finding it harder and harder to get home in time to watch the evening news? Then you should know about the network that gives you news when you need it. A network made for people on the go. And because it's there all the time,
Mom, do you think this is such a good idea?
it lets you take your time.
And that's the news. Good night.
CNN.